Yes. It is I, Jay Sims, the live broadcasting live this Saturday morning for another episode of Saturday Conversation with the Book of Man. I don't care if you're at the field, the park, the stadium, the arena, the coliseum, wherever you're at enjoying your games this Saturday morning. Is college football, rec, and pro football getting started all this week. Join us now for the Book of Man. What's going on, big brother? How you doing, Doc?
Man, what's happening, man? We is here again on this lovely Saturday morning, ready to talk about some serious topics.
Yeah, we got some things. We got some heavy hitters this morning.
Oh yeah, man. And I mean, y'all gonna notice I got number 1, 2, and 3 in the description, and we're gonna get to what we got time to get to. But if we don't get to, we're gonna roll it over the next week.
Oh yeah, that's what we'll do. So we got some interesting topics today. We got some things that you and I have discussed, but we haven't discussed with the people.
Yeah. Now, before we do that, quick housekeeping.
Oh, yes.
One, if you got something to say and you want to interact with us and be on the show, there's two ways to do that. Number one, you can click the link at the top of the description and you can be on the show live with us. Next thing, what you can do is that you can go to the comments and then you can comment whatever you like and we'll throw it up and talk about it. People in the Book of Man group, you know, I just hit the @ tag for everybody so we all know that is on. And thank y'all for coming in. Next thing, book study every Thursday at 7. If you wasn't there, if you was not there this Thursday at 7, you missed out on something big.
Oh, yeah.
Something big. And you want to come back.
This book, the one right here. This the one.
Yeah.
Men out there, women out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This book right here is going to have a profound effect on your relationship. There's no way around it. There's no way around it.
Exactly. So definitely you want to be there for that. This book is powerful. Very powerful. All right, man. I guess we can get into what we're going to talk about here.
Yeah, we can go and jump into it. I don't even know which one you're going to do first. I mean, I know you got them lined up 1, 2, 3, but I don't care which one. All of them kind of, topics that you and I have discussed and had our different points of views on. And I think it'll be interesting to get some other folks' comments. And plus, let's go ahead and get it out up front and really get deep into some of this stuff.
Yeah. All right. Let's throw it on up there. We're going to hit the well, it's two big elephants in the room. So this is the first one that came up. So this is what we're going to do. Pretty much Andrew Tate is banned.
That's right. Your boy Andrew Tate
is banned. Let me tell y'all a little bit about Andrew Tate. So basically he was he's a British American born in DC, grew up in England.
Yep.
Kickboxer, won titles, all this stuff. So he has multi-millionaire many times over. And he makes appearances on podcast shows, has his own messages. What I've been seeing, I didn't follow him like that. Like I would see him and I'm like, oh yeah, he all right. I agree with what he's saying. But the media and people have labeled him as misogynist. There are articles like the New York Times, that says, why social media sites are removing his account and they talking directly about him being misogynist. There are teachers. This is the big one, man. There are teachers out there that are warning other teachers and trying to get them prepared because the boys are listening to what Andrew Tate said.
There it is. All right. Go ahead. Finish telling them.
Matter of fact, you know what? Let me share a video thing with y'all real quick because see, this is the thing right here. This is what kind of let me know who Andrew Tate is. And it's a good roundabout thing right here. Okay. And it's a video about why he lives in Romania. All right. So I'm going to throw this up there because he lives in Romania. So that's him. And why Andrew Tate lives in Romania. So real quick.
Why do you choose to live there?
In Romania?
Yeah, I know you have like businesses and things going on there, but why there?
There's something that very much angers me about the Western world. I don't feel comfortable here. I don't like the way it functions and operates. I think it's the most corrupt, disgusting, degraded societies on earth. There's nothing left besides money and corporate agenda. And I like living in countries where, one, there's some kind of moral fiber beyond the dollar. And two, I like living in countries where corruption is accessible for everybody. I find it offensive.
I'm going to go pause it right there. I mean, to me, that kind of encapsulates Andrew Tate.
As bad as it sounds, it also sounds great. If you can do it, why I can't do it?
That's right.
Why is corruption only available to some?
That's right. And he talked about further on there, talking about how if he got pulled over in another country, he can just slip him some money and he can get off. Don't worry about it. So yeah, that's him. And he also, I have another video pulled up, but we don't have to play it. But he was talking about, somebody asked him what would he do if he found out his son was gay. And what I'm gonna go ahead and play it. And what he said was just, I was with it. I was with what he said. If Andrew Tate had a gay son. So here we go.
You have a son and he tells you that he's gay. How would you react to that?
It wouldn't bother me. I don't think I'd really care. It doesn't matter if he's straight, it doesn't matter if he's gay. As long as he's got his head screwed on and he's working hard and he's living a good life and he's doing good things, then that's fine. Then I don't really care what they do too much.
There it is. So he has said it.
First off, all right, if you want to, you can. I'm sure you can look up and find some stuff that Andrew Tate has said that you're going to be utterly appalled by.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some stuff he says that I'm like, yeah, I can't get with it, or it doesn't work that way for everyone. You got to understand, when you talk about somebody like Andrew Tate and guys of his ilk, you talk about men who are extremely successful.
Mm-hmm.
In his case, he's over 6 feet. He's fit. He doesn't live the life most men live. He has access to more things than most men have access to. He'll always have more women. He'll always have more time. It's a different life. So you can't apply everything he says to your life if you are a young man. Now, there are some very strong tenets. I'm going to call them tenets that he believes in that I think every man can apply. And one of those things is build yourself first. Work on yourself.
Right.
If you build yourself and establish yourself as a man, doesn't really, and we talk about this in the awareness of superior man, doesn't really matter how much money you make.
No.
Whatever. It's what's your character as a man and what you stand on and what you believe in. Develop those things first. Me and Simone call it write your mission statement for life.
Yes. The mission and vision statement for life. Your mission, what are you doing now?
Right.
Vision, what are you going to do? So, and here's the problem I have. And I think Dr. Ron Neal said it best. I caught one of his videos this morning and he went off about all of this stuff, but he was saying that, and regardless of how you feel about Donald Trump, we're just talking about the action. He said that they're treating Andrew Tate like Donald Trump and it's not warranted because he's just a regular guy that has some influence, whereas Donald Trump was the president and did all this stuff. Right. So and another thing. People who have the opposite messages are allowed on these platforms to say things against men, say things specifically against black men, and influence the wide variety of people with their words and actions. I have a problem with that. If you're going to spread it around equally.
Back to his previous point that Andrew made, that corruption is accessible for everyone. Mm. But along those lines, if there are platforms created that can disparage men to no limit, why is there not room and space for someone like Andrew that just simply says, men should take a stance in who they are and what they're willing to deal with, especially when it comes to women. Now, whether or not you agree with him is irrelevant. Mm-hmm. The fact is, if you can do men are trash, men ain't shit, kill black babies, abort black babies, you can say all of that on public platforms. Why can't you just simply say a man should build himself and he shouldn't take no shit from a woman?
Let's look at this. Twan said freedom of speech is freedom of speech. We can't pick and choose who we allow to have a voice just because we don't agree with the message. This cancel culture stuff is very dangerous, and we saw that with COVID. Right. People, well, I guess they have to grow up and learn how to deal with things they don't like.
That's all to it. And it's not even freedom of speech. We're talking about, I'm talking about, these are corporate platforms. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. This is not a freedom of speech thing. These are corporate-owned platforms. They have the right to choose who they want and don't want on their platform. I'm not mad at them for kicking Andrew Tate off their platform. That's their platform. They can kick them off. I'm simply saying, what are the standards?
All right. Well, let me connect some dots for y'all. Watch this. There are studies done that says millennials, right? They support organizations and companies who align with their beliefs.
Right.
And it started with this, like recycling. If you recycle and are responsible, then people would buy from you. If you try to reduce waste and all that, they love that. Why do you think Nike does not use leather anymore? They stopped. Everything is fly knit.
Yep. Mesh.
And fabrics. Because they recycle stuff. Okay, so we're going to take that idea because that's been found and proven. But what is the new thing? Misogyny, women's rights. So the companies, they want to attract more people that spend money. Who spend the most money?
Women.
We already know. Therefore, that's what they're going to do. So the issue here is the money.
Always.
But I think it's nuanced. Everything is nuanced. For the top tier, it's the money. For the regular sheep, is you can't say anything against women. And that's bad.
Yeah.
Now, Alicia said is another reason for black folks to have their own media platforms.
Correct.
Okay. Now I'm kind of with you there, but this will happen. Because, and it's been shown, when black men have a media platform, it gets infiltrated and then shut down. They tried to do that to Kevin Samuels, but he was untouchable because he had his own money. But it's a small percentage of people that doesn't have that luxury.
Well, not only with that, is Kevin Samuels, as much as people didn't like him, he was very careful with his wording. Extremely careful with his wording. So, and most of the stuff that was said that people didn't like was said by the people that came on the show, not by Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
He would ask a question that would set folks up.
Yeah, that's true. Got him to say it itself.
Yeah.
The man was brilliant.
He
played that.
He was brilliant. So that's why they had so much. That's why they couldn't never, Andrew, on the other hand, he doesn't interact with the people. He just says what he says.
But here's the big difference. Kevin Samuels was a surgical steel, a scalpel.
Right.
Andrew Tate is a sledgehammer.
He
don't even try to cut this thing. He's a sledgehammer. But to the biggest thing is why. Let's talk about that. Why has he gained popularity with these boys, and why are these people afraid of him?
Because I personally feel like the reason he's gained so much popularity with the boys is because, just like you say, a lot of the world is gynocentric. So a lot of young men feel left out, that there's no one speaking to them, for them, about them. And to hear a man, one who lives a lifestyle they can aspire to live, speak and make arguments and points that are, male guided, makes them feel good. It's that simple.
Well, you know what I think? I think that this is why, in my opinion, people look up to certain people because they do things that they want to do, but don't have the courage or the ability to do. So I'm going to flip it on his head. Watch this. Remember when Lizzo did all that stuff and was still doing all that stuff?
Yeah.
Still on the cover of magazines and all of this stuff. There's a lot of women that want to do that because they're in the mindset of, I don't care what everybody say about me. Right. So they want to do that. Therefore, they support that.
Right.
Andrew Tate. And remember, I said he was a sledgehammer.
Yep.
There's a lot of boys and men out there want to be a sledgehammer.
Yep. Because
they tired of it. But they can't. But he does. Therefore, they watch him and listen to him because he's spitting that stuff. He's saying what I want to say.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
It makes them feel good to hear somebody saying out loud the things they say to themselves. And even if they don't agree with everything Andrew Tate's saying, to see him have, the wherewithal or the ability to sit there and stand on it.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
For some young men, it's inspiring because they haven't seen any man do it.
That's right.
These guys are in their 20s. They haven't seen any man sit and stand and not make a concession
Mm-hmm.
in some way, shape, or form to women. Like you said, anytime there's a male platform, sooner or later it gets infiltrated by women.
Yeah, I mean it does. It's how to break it down.
Because those are the buyers. Women are the ones who spend the money. So eventually, if you want to make enough money, and most people want to make money, you got to get some of that woman's money. Look at the NFL.
That's right. Oh yeah.
Used to be almost primarily men. Now it's they almost market nearly 100% to women.
Oh well, then let me draw your attention to something else. Then Ford F-150.
Mm-hmm.
Ford F-150. Not the current ones, but remember the F-150 of the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of rounded and curved and all that. Yeah, that was marketed to a woman. That's why they made it like that.
Yeah.
So they changed the design so they can market it to women. Right. But let's look at this comment. And I'm going to come back to, because we got a lot of good comments coming in. We're going to come back to those, but I want to draw your attention to this one. Twan said, anytime you have someone telling black men to man up and hold themselves accountable, that's going to be a problem.
I disagree there. Everybody tell black men to man up and hold themselves accountable. Whenever you have a platform telling anybody else, specifically black women, that, hey, there's some things y'all ain't doing right as well, that's when it's a problem.
I think the details come in to where you not telling them the way I want you to tell them.
Boom.
So that's where the problem comes in. You're not doing it the way I want you to do it. So it's wrong.
Well, let me ask you this, Doc. Who's the I in your reference?
You already know. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. There are a certain sector of women out there who like to fight. Yes. And they don't like that. And unfortunately, let me tell you who these people are. They are our academics.
Yep.
They are our bosses and CEOs.
Yep.
They are the abusers. All of that. They don't like that. So you got to do it their way. So they will infiltrate. No, don't tell him that. Do it this way. I mean, I'm going to get all on them weaponizing competence and all that. I got a big bone to pick with that term. But yeah, it's that.
So let me ask you this. Because you probably done a little more research than me, because I couldn't find it from the things that I saw. A lot of people track his being banned back to a particular guy on Twitter. I forget his name. But is there a particular video that people seem to be most outraged about? Because I couldn't find a specific video or comment that he made that people seem to be outraged. It's always just this general, he's a misogynist. But there's I don't see a particular thing or one video that anybody can point to that he said that was so horrible.
No, I couldn't find that either. And it wasn't one thing with him, though. Right. It was the fact that he amassed followers over time. He slowly did it. And this man is too powerful. We need to stop him now.
But I honestly feel like they did two things. One, he's more known this week than he was last week.
Oh, yeah.
Two, somebody's going to come and be worse.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with him. And I see it happening. Because everybody doesn't agree. There are a lot of men's channel and men and some women that believe this is wrong. So what they're going to do, Andrew Tate doesn't need his own channel because he's going to come on theirs.
Nope.
Now, but here's the thing. All right, let's look at this. They would annihilate any black man that appears to emerge as a leader. Andrew Tate is mixed. He is black and white. He is. He gains too much power. Now, again, I don't agree with everything he say. I don't. Some of the stuff I'd be like, man, I can't do that.
I from what I've heard of his, I roll with Andrew Tate to about a 50%, 50 to 60%.
Yeah.
And it's about 50 to 50% of the stuff that I'm like, not this time. But what I do agree with, and he was one of the first men to articulate it well, was women blame men for this issue or that issue, when really you're only talking about 1% of men.
Yeah.
The vast majority of men ain't got nothing to do with a lot of the stuff y'all got a problem with. The vast majority of men, and I think I reposted it in the group once, and I know I posted it on my own personal page.
Yeah.
The vast majority of men are working themselves damn near to death to provide for a woman, to take care of a woman, to take care of their family. Very, very few men have the time or the energy to worry about some of these political issues, some of these who he says, she says stuff. Most guys are working 10, 12 hours a day trying to just make sure they roof is over their head. And the roof is over the head of their children. And so a lot of the guys y'all have issue with ain't most men. And you focus that on most men. I was reading a comment on social media today where a woman, they were talking about, and I don't want to get on this subject too tough, they were talking about why women don't reach sexual climax with men early on in the relationship. And I said, that's because women don't communicate. And a woman replied and said, well, women don't communicate because when they do, they get attacked by men. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You're not going to communicate with 99% of men about how to help your sexual experience,
Right.
because of the 1% of men that can't take a woman telling them, hey man, you need to do this and do that a little bit better so we can both enjoy this experience. So I think we get a lot of that in society, that we base way too much on such a small portion, and we say all women, all men. And, and it's not nowhere near that.
So if you ask me, and I'm laughing because y'all might think I'm crazy, the conspiracy theorist in me says all of this is engineered.
Of course, a lot of it is.
And I think there are countries that are trying to expedite the demise of the United States. And how do you do that? Create division and war from within. But with this, and this is the sad thing about it. They just have to jump out and say one small thing, put out one small thing. It may be fake, and I don't know, but we'll run with it. We will run with it and start fighting more. And I think we just not listening to one another. You know what I'm saying? That's just not the case. But we're getting set up for this. And most people belong to that middle, that normal middle, where they don't follow up with this stuff. But the loud ones in the outskirts are the ones that have the big voices. And because of social media, they think everybody like that.
Right.
So what we got here?
Bell curve you always talked about.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm going to make a whole graphic for that so I can just put it up every time it come up. I'm going to wear that thing out. So let's look at some of the stuff we got since then. Lisa says I only have a problem with men who hate books. They need to join the book group. Then they'll love books. Here we go. Ponder this. Snoop Dogg told an entire generation that when he busted this expletive, he is raising up out of the cock. Okay.
He did.
But, oh, man, that's the use of people. Money. All right. I always say everybody got a price.
Right.
What is your personal currency? You need to discover what that is. What's the thing that you will sell everything out for to get? For most people, it is money. But for people with a lot of money, they don't care about that.
Nope.
They don't care about that. So what happens? You take somebody whose currency is money and give it to them so they can do what you want them to do. And they think, to them, people believe everybody thinks like them. When in actuality, they do not. Everybody thinks differently.
Right.
So they can pay you millions upon millions of dollars to put out this message. Yeah. I mean, honestly, remember when rap changed? Remember when it changed? It happened abruptly too.
Yep.
It happened abruptly, and it never went back.
What happens? It doesn't happen abruptly. When we just don't notice it until, for example, let's take the gender whatever is going on right now. We all feel like it came out of nowhere. But this been slowly building for the last 20 years.
Oh no, longer than that, brother.
You know,
longer than that.
It just when someone like the Caitlyn Jenner situation, the Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, however you refer to him, comes out, it's like, boom, now it's in your face. But this thing been slowly simmering for a long time. I remember Bryant Gumbel on The Real Sports covered a man that became a woman playing in some low-level basketball league and dominating 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So this stuff has been building and building and building and building over time. And the same thing happened with hip-hop. Hip-hop went from Chuck D and Public Enemy to Young Thug wearing a dress. That didn't happen overnight.
No, it's slow. And that's the thing that gets us. That slow creep is what it's like somebody's house. You know, your house, you don't all of a sudden have a junky house. Right. It slowly happen every day you walk in. Every day. But I'm going to tell you this. It went back further than that. And when I start doing research on this person, I mean, I'm going to tell you how ingrained all this stuff is. Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks is one of the most prolific kind of feminist writers, academic people. And this is going back to this banned and censorship thing. She writes books that people use in academic studies. Yep. And her belief is that, you know, men are evil. We are inherently bad. As a matter of fact, she was one of the biggest proponents that the Central Park Five was guilty. The thing about that, people take her stuff and apply it to everything else, but she was never canceled. Never. And they have way more influence than, like Kevin Samuels say, and they talk about him, way more influence than somebody on YouTube. Right. Somebody who up just talking to even 1 million people. But that has nothing to someone who has written works that are not supported by stats or anything, no academic thing, no peer-reviewed anything that has influenced everything. Because this even flows into the next topic, which, you know, okay, I'm gonna save it for when we get there. But they over here getting deep over here talking about Karl Marx and every. What y'all doing over here? What y'all doing over here? Hold on.
Right, they getting deep over here in these comments now.
Let me take a swig of my Celsius.
Hey, I just had one of those for the first time. Listen, that thing worked.
Bruh, you ain't gonna wake up you ain't gonna go to sleep till like Monday. I ain't going to sleep till Monday.
I got in the car tired, boy. I drunk through that thing. I drove, got home still doing stuff. I was ready. That Celsius is no joke, fellas.
It's all natural too. All natural.
Yeah, all that Celsius, man, that's real deal over there. I stand by that. It don't taste good though. It don't taste.
Man, you
good.
just got. But look, you not drinking it for the taste. You drinking it. So
anytime you gotta say that, you know it. Anytime you gotta say you ain't drinking it for the taste, you know it ain't good. Well, okay. On this Andrew Tate thing, man. So I feel like the man shouldn't have been banned.
No.
I feel like he had a point to make, and I think his overall was helping men be better. Be honest with you, I think because if you listen to him, much like Kevin Samuels, the overarching theme for Andrew Tate was be the best man you can be. The overarching theme for Kevin Samuels was we need to build black families.
Yep. Hold on. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
I'm yet to find anybody that speaks to those things so eloquently and fluently as those guys did. Everybody else is trying to tell some story about what those guys are saying, and it's just wrong.
Before I say my part on that, OG has entered the chat.
Hey, give me my theme music. OG! In the building.
Got to give OG the flowers because he's been Book of Man since day one. He's the moderator
Yes,
in the group. Give him his flowers for that. Okay, Andrew Tate, my final thoughts on this thing. I think people are being too emotional, too shallow, and not willing to look at what the person is saying. Either that or our foundation. Our foundation is severely messed up. You know, in the Bible talks about building a foundation on rock or building it on sand.
Mm-hmm.
And if you build a foundation on sand, no matter what kind of house you build, it's going to fall apart because the sand shifts and moves.
Right.
That's what the foundation of people's values are today. They shift and move, so nothing ever gets built. And furthermore, whatever they don't agree with, they want to change it. They change the rules to fit where they are instead of changing themselves to fit what's happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happening. That's why Andrew Tate is picking up so much steam. They canceled him, but they made him bigger just because they did that. I mean, it's the same thing.
And he's still on Discord and some other sites if you're looking for him.
Bruh, look, they censoring everyone that goes against their narrative. It's like the book. Fahrenheit 451. Boy, it's these books that these people writing. Yeah. Even though Fahrenheit 451 is really old, but they was burning books. You know, they had the fire department was not out there to put out fires, but they was there to burn the books.
Yep. And
the people didn't think it was right. Yeah. What kind of precedent they set by banning him?
Well, to me, they've said it. And it basically the precedent is if you speak up for men, you're going to get you up out of here.
Bro, look, I was trying. All right. You know, you asked me to try to find some clips or something of an opposing view. And two things, man. I couldn't watch them. I couldn't do it. It was terrible. Biggest one, Cynthia G. She had a whole 2-hour live stream talking about how Black women should abort their babies if they find out they're boys. The whole thing. You would like to kill a baby because of the gender it came out to be.
She ain't banned though. But she
done said a whole lot of stuff.
I know, but
even if you look, she ain't gonna never be banned. And on TikTok is worse. It is worse.
Yeah. So
move the goal post to fit the goal. Yeah. Yes, they want to win. That's why everybody get participation trophies. You'll get a trophy if every time they move the goal post so you score a goal. If this was football, the field wouldn't be 100 yards anymore. It'd be just the end zone. You win.
So let's move on to the next topic, dog. We gotta let's get to the next.
All right. So y'all remember the Black Psychologist. She got fired from her job. Matter of fact, hold on, let me type the thing down here. Black Psychologist was fired.
Okay. All right. Before we even get to her, I think we need to address the article that she was speaking about, which a lot of people are I don't know what the word is, touting this article up like it's some phenomenal information. Every man is like, yeah, we already knew that. Mm-hmm. every man is like, the information in this article says we've been saying that 80% of women only like 20% of men. This is the same thing we've been saying. This is not new news. Of course, there's a lot of single men. Women, y'all are hypergamous. Y'all only like a little bit of men, which is fine.
And that's okay. That's A-okay.
That's okay. We understand you women are designed to seek out the highest quality, highest value man you can get. Also, don't get mad when those men sleep with a whole bunch of y'all. Because if it's one dude and it's 5 women, and
And
4
all
out
of
of
them
those
want him.
5 women want to be with him. He gonna sleep with all 4 of them.
Yeah. You're right.
Sorry.
All right. I'm gonna show y'all something. I mean, I know we don't have to play the video because everybody didn't seen it.
Yeah.
And it's a couple points I want to bring up. This is the first one. So I went to her TikTok just to see who she was. And I tried to pull some data from this because I didn't want someone else's thing. I want to get it directly from her, out of her mouth. But look what you see on the screen there. Therapist, artist, jeweler. You can do all those things. Mm-hmm. She's 27 years old. You know, she uses these pronoun things, got the flag, but look right below that.
So I'm taking this to mean she identifies as she, her. She is LGBTQ community. Doesn't specify.
Look at what I highlighted.
And then she says she's simply chaotic. Yeah.
How can you be a psychologist, a professional that helps people find balance in themselves and work through their problems, but you are intentionally chaotic? You can't help people like that. You just can't. So, but go ahead, man.
I watched her videos. I watched a few of her videos, and I put my business owner cap on.
Yeah.
When watching the videos, if I had a business and my business dealt directly with people, I wouldn't want an individual that spoke that way working for me.
No, because she reflects the business.
Right. She routinely, like, the language was very poor. The language she uses is very poor. Not what I would expect from a therapist.
Yep.
You know, she constantly did things like slapped her own butt, and it was just a lot of stuff that was just like, really? And you a therapist? If I was a company and I was a company that, you know, did therapy, I would not want this person representing me. What happened to her is the same thing that happens to a lot of people, which is her fame became her priority.
Yeah.
She got 200,000 followers. She got famous. She got extremely famous and forgot she wasn't making no damn money off that.
That's right. Well, look at this. All right. There's a couple other things I'm going to draw y'all attention to, what people not considering. Number one, she said that 90% of her clients were black men. That's what she said, right?
Right.
She also does not own her own practice because she was actually fired. So that's 2. What does that lead us to? This lady worked for the military as a contractor, or she worked in the prison.
Most likely.
Or both. When you work in those types of things, and this is what people do not understand, in certain professions, you can't put all this ethics clauses in there. They tell you this in the beginning. If you embarrass them, they're going to embarrass you.
Yep.
So you can't do all that stuff. But the issue is this. What does this say about us? Because there are people out there that say, yeah, she was right. You know, black men need therapy and all of this and that.
She's not wrong there. She's not wrong about black men needing therapy. What she is wrong about is how you're going to sit here and say you want to help black men and you don't like us.
You know what? That's like two things. One, she says she want to help. That's like somebody who. That's like somebody. But get this. This is like somebody who says they're going to help you, but they robbing you.
Right.
It was a backhanded thing. And about this black man in therapy thing, I got to contact my friend to get him on because I want to know this. But I truly believe that the whole system is flawed. And this is why. The reason why I think it's flawed, because therapists are professionally trained. Their training comes from study, academics that preceded them. That stuff was rooted in the feminine. It was. So you cannot apply feminine principles to masculine problems.
Nope.
So what I want to find out is there any study out there to show how to deal with men? Because here's the thing. We do communicate, but we don't communicate like them. You just like you said the other night during the book study, you said that us three men could be in a room and we could communicate with each other without talking.
Yeah, Damien said that.
Yes. The same thing. I think they don't know how to and don't care to find out.
Well, okay, first off, again, she was not incorrect in saying black men need therapy. It's a lot of black men that need therapy. What type of therapy?
Mm-hmm.
That's subject to a lot of different things. As far as she's concerned, I watched about 10, 15 of her, somewhere between 10 and 15 of her videos. I didn't count. So.
Look, you better than me.
Well, when I saw the one, because the first thing I saw mediocre tutorials and reviews. He put it up, and he showed about 5 of her videos, and I was like, I don't think she likes men. I'm not sure, like, because I saw she did a couple of videos, and what he posted that was talking about women, and he posted a couple of videos that she was talking about men, and the videos about women were very, hey, women, we support you. You need to work on this, work on that. She told women to do work, but it was very supportive. And she told women, that's what you want to do. You're going to suffer from it. But if that's what you want to do it. Whatever. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
But what's going on?
Oh, no. Julio. You want to put a name in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to her thing.
Put TikTok back up there.
Yeah. I'm going to put it. Oh, yeah. I can just throw it up there.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that. But while I'm doing that, I want to say this. And Damien, I did it. I held my finger up so I could hold this thought. Now I'll see if I can remember the thought. Okay. She's saying black men need therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But did y'all hear why?
No.
The reason why she said it is not because the black men could be better themselves, but she said that because black women need to benefit from it.
Right. That
further supports what I've been saying and what Dr. Tia Son Johnson been saying about the ConcuServe, that they see us as a concubine or a serf as a servant. That's it. We are not human. We are not human.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like there was none of the videos that I saw where I got a vibe that she really cared about black men. Only thing I ever saw was.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the link in the chat too so y'all can go to it.
And you know what? She does. Watching the video, she is chaotic. She didn't lie. She didn't lie. She absolutely is chaotic. And she's all over the place. And, hey, lady, I wish you the best. I hope you find another job. I don't know what you're going to find. It probably won't be in therapy.
Hey, I mean, you're right there. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. I am.
Yeah.
But the thing is with this is bad because of the people that's rising to defend her. And what I'm hearing is this. They say first they're attacking her being unprofessional. They say, well, that's how we talk. That's our culture. Sorry. And I'm saying, what culture are you a part of?
I'm telling you, no ma'am, no sir.
Where your speech is degrading to someone that already has mental health issues.
That's only okay if it's men. It's only okay if it's men. So it's our culture to talk negative about our men. That's the culture.
All right. So let me ask y'all this.
Okay.
Let me ask y'all this. After seeing that, and also, I should have pulled up that video too. Remember when Kevin Samuels had talked to the therapist and she would not admit to what they were doing?
Right.
It was a show, and she just is the girl code. She stuck to that code, and it was creating a psychotic break. Like she just was frozen, her in the matrix. But here's the thing: knowing that exists, people like this are out there. Would you go to therapy?
I think you have to do a thorough job of vetting your therapist. I can say right now, because of who I am, I don't think I would go to a female therapist at all anyway. Because exactly what you said, I don't know if a female. Mike Tyson's got a video out right now going around that says, men, one of our issues is we look for a woman to treat us like our mother treated us.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
Meaning everything we want everything she do to be about helping us. But the thing you have to realize about a woman and know and understand is a woman can never treat you the way your mother treated you. She can only because everything your mother did was for your benefit.
Yeah.
Everything your woman does for you is for her benefit.
Yeah. And I think
so, and women naturally come from that aspect. To a certain degree, they look at men as, how can a man improve the quality of my life?
Yeah. And
that's fine. But from a therapy standpoint, I want to look at a guy that's going to say, man, I'm going to see if I can help this dude.
Shout out to Ephraim. Thanks for coming in, man.
What's up, brother?
But look, take a look at this. Man, there's so much I got to say about this. Because I think I understand there was a point, and I'm about to go deep. I'm about to get there. There's a point in my life, and also a point recently, where I said I physically said it. When you physically say something, that comes from your core. When you just say it. And I said, I understand why they do it. And what I was talking about is why so many men choose to unalive themselves. I'm serious. I was at the point I was like, I get it. I wouldn't do it, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And when you're in that position, when you feel like you can't win, I mean, small victories, you can't win at all. No matter what you do, the world is conspiring against you and everybody supports it. And you're not wrong. I was like, I get it.
We always say this goes back to men don't feel value in themselves anymore.
But when you're at that lowest point and you go to a professional and they do that, you can't win. And as a matter of fact, there are male therapists that fall back on their initial training that still say everything is your fault.
Yep.
And don't try to help you work through it. That's a bad thing. Look at this. No more son husbands. Ooh.
That's a real thing. That's out there.
Ooh. Yeah. Kevin Durant, the biggest one. Oh, I didn't say that out loud. My bad.
Ooh. Wow. Oh, wow, Doc. Wow. I ain't messing with you today, Doc. I ain't going there with you. It's too hot for me. I ain't going in that water with you, Doc. Y'all, that's boiling over there. Move on to the next topic. We got to move on.
Okay. Then, well, we can keep going.
Talking about Kevin Durant. Not the cupcake, but go ahead.
Man. All right. Third topic. Actually, I didn't have a third topic. You know what I said? Whatever else we want to talk about. Whatever else and I'm going to put that in yep. So whatever else we want to talk about. Go ahead, Jay. Throw something out there.
Since the floor is open,
and y'all in the chat can throw something up there too, and we can get on it.
It's clearly, I'm seeing a lot since your boy Kevin Samuels passed away. I'm seeing a lot of quote unquote wannabes and a lot of these podcasts basically trying to build off the platform or the foundation that he laid down. Mm-hmm. And it's just so bad. It's so bad to the point where I think it's almost hurting what he was standing for.
Yeah, you know what?
Go ahead. The conversation is open. I'm glad the conversation is being had, but it's just
It's
you
eroding.
see it's bad. It's almost getting, like you said, it's getting infiltrated, and it's getting pretty bad. They on these platforms without no real talking points or any real stance, and no
Woo,
focus, and
bro.
it's pretty
We
bad.
got some good stuff up here, but before we get to that, 'cause I'm gonna start these comments so we can definitely come back to them. But this is the one thing I want to say, and we need to have a whole show about this, and we may end up doing it next week. We need to define what the manosphere is, what the red pill is, what the blue pill is, what red pill rage is, because, and this goes to what you were talking about. We don't have an understanding of what it is, and the people that have filled that vacuum. Just like earlier, I think Jamel said that Andrew Tate was filling the vacuum from Kevin Samuels. The people that are filling the vacuum don't have an understanding of this stuff, and they are in that rage still.
Yeah.
So everything that comes out is that. But I think Obsidian said it the best, that we need to move past the point of being angry and move to the point of building up men. And I'm saying men in general, because I've got to observe our white brothers, and they're like,
they're going through it too.
They think it's bad.
Yeah,
I was bad. They're bad too.
Yeah, they're going through it as well. It's an issue between men and women. It's not an issue between black men and black women. It is an issue between men and women to destroy the fabric of the families.
Yes.
Oh, what Damon said, why are black men afraid to speak up or challenge false narratives about black men? I don't think we are afraid. I think we don't have the platform space that other groups and genders have. You get somebody like Kevin Samuels came out and did it, and he was almost destroyed. They tried to destroy him and ended up dying. And they banned Andrew Tate. Every time a man, black man, whoever does speak up, there's a concerted effort to destroy him. So you have to understand, when you do that, as a black man, if your message is not gynocentric, you will face aggressive opposition.
Well, I got a different take on that. I think that a lot of people are afraid of this. And I'm connecting this back to what we talked about on Thursday in the book study. We talked about why men shut down. And we all agreed that we did it or do it at some point. And I think this is another spinoff of that. Now, I'm going to speak for me. In the beginning, when we started doing this, and we would see these posts thrown out there and see things happening, and I'd be like, that's not true. But I wouldn't say anything about it. And the reason why I wouldn't say anything about it is because I didn't want to deal with all of the backlash that came with it. I just didn't want to. I said, well, I got to protect my reputation. I got to do this and do that. And when I talked to Damien, he keep telling me, man, you need to go ahead. Y'all need to get on, go to Lapeef. Let's talk. Let's do some stuff and get out there. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready to deal with what comes from that. Now, as time goes on, I become more skilled and more ready to deal with it. But I think that is almost every man out there, because they outnumber. You had a family reunion and you outnumbered by the women. Oh, bro, don't say that. Don't say that. Now, we all know the truth, but we won't say it because we don't want to deal with what's happening. So I think that is one of the big things. We try to lead and say, okay, well, I'm going to show them something different. But the action is not translating to the message.
Well, clearly the actions don't translate, because by almost every metric, we're doing better as black men. However, people are still stuck in that same black men don't take care of their kids. We know the CDC proving we the most involved father. Yeah. Black men don't make no job. 51% are childless and middle class. So that's not true. So all of these narratives that have been put out there are so false. We know they're false. Most of the brothers listen to us right now, defy the majority of those class. Hell, Freddie Brown on here, we know he a business owner, been a business owner for years. So there's plenty of black men out here doing fine, but we still go with this. What did Kevin call it? The color purple of America. We still ride on that same bull jive topic.
Well,
And
here's
women
another
still
thing
believe
too.
in it.
I don't think a lot of men even know. I think we're just directionless, don't even know. Like for ages, I hated The Color Purple. I couldn't and I didn't know why I didn't like that movie until recently. You know, like Dr. Tia Johnson says, we don't have a language for a lot of things
Nope.
at all. So we don't even know why that. And then when I started to think back on all of the other movies that, you know, black people supposed to like, and I never liked them because of the message. But then real quick, man, I'm gonna tell y'all something that happened yesterday, and it kind of goes into this false narrative thing. I had a young man get in a fight with a girl at the school. I was there, lining the kids up. Let's go. The girl come from behind me and start raining blows on this man back. That, you know, doing this, getting it in. I broke him up. Turned around, pushed the girl back. The boy came from behind me, right? Swung around me, bam, hit in the side of the head. So I pushed him out and got him to a safe place. Now I'm taking both of y'all to the principal, boy or girl. Took him there, you know, they did their thing. The boy goes out to get on the bus. The girl and her brother get on his bus. They get on his bus to jump him. We pull him off. All this stuff happened. Campus police come. And they treating the boy like he was the aggressor. He was to the principal office before a girl went and slapped him in the face. But here is the false narrative part. When this stuff is happening, they are saying that he was the one that was the aggressor in both incidents when I was actually there and he was attacked by girls. So what's the false narrative? That we are aggressive and we no good. And I'm talking to these people and I said, the boy got a lot of potential. I'm trying to help him steer him right. You know, all this stuff. And they laughed at me. They laughed at me because I said the boy got potential.
Wow.
False narrative. And these are the same people that every time they see this boy, they try to give him a high five, telling me doing a good job. I witnessed that.
So from a professional standpoint, what is, I don't know if you can answer this question. You might not be able to. Don't answer it if you can't answer it. In your professional opinion, do you think black boys have a real shot in our current school system?
I think they do, but we have to show them how to navigate it and how to get around it.
I'm asking you too friendly a question.
Okay.
Do you think it's designed for them to lose?
I don't think it's intentionally designed for them to lose, but what I do think is that is the environment is not advantageous to them. And this is what I think. One, boys need different things. Let's look at maturity.
Okay.
So people say girls mature faster than boys. I've said it. You've said it. All that has been said, right? So the belief is that boys are immature. But I argue that boys do mature faster than girls, but it's in the area in which they are designed to mature, which is physically.
Right.
Strength, size, muscles. Girls have to mature socially, emotionally, so they do that. So if school is designed in an emotional way, of course, that's going to happen. So now what we're trying to do is take a boy who's a square peg and force him into the round hole. And the only way a square peg can go into a round hole is if the square peg is smaller than the round hole.
Yep.
So the boys are being diminished to a point where they're smaller and they can slide right on in. What's the solution?
Well, that takes us to Freddie's question. Are we heading in the right direction Will we ever see a community? Well, first off, Fred, you got to define community.
And we talked about that Thursday.
Right. It really, the definition, what is your definition of community? What community are you talking about? Now, I'm assuming, because you're a black man, I'm a black man, we're talking about the black community, and we're talking about black families. The study that recently came out that said more children are being raised in two-parent households than any time in the previous 30 years. So by that study, that would say, yes, we are heading in the right direction. The question is, what's the setup of these two parents?
Yes.
What are these two parents made of? Are we talking about man-woman households, woman-woman households, man-man households? You know, the biological mother and father? Are we talking about, blended families? All of which can work. I think all of which are numbers-wise better than single-parent household as far as likelihood of success for the children from these homes. All of which 100% are better than a child being lost in the system.
Go ahead. You can finish.
So I really think it depends on how you define community and what you're looking for. Now, if you mean what we stand for here at the Book of Man, then I don't know if we head in the right direction. I'm trying to be a part of steering us into the right direction. Go ahead, Doc.
So there was you know what, I do the preaching at the church. I do. So I'm gonna put that out there. That's why sometimes when I read y'all comments, I kind of use other words because my people watching me. So I don't do that. But I did a sermon one time called Cruise Ship Problems. Do you have cruise ship problems? Let me explain what that is. If you've ever been on a cruise ship, the bigger the ship, the longer it takes to turn around.
Yep.
They just don't back up. You got to be pushed and turned, and it take a long time to turn around. Now, how does that apply to this? This whole thing, the direction is a cruise ship problem. It's not going to turn around fast. It's going to be a slow, arduous turn. Now, and this is why it's going to be so hard. Because with a cruise ship, the tugboat come around and the tugboat push it from the back from whatever side they think it need to turn to, then it turns, right? But what happens when there's two tugboats pushing in opposite directions?
Nowhere.
Nothing happened. And that's what's happening now. A lot of the men feel like we need to turn in this direction. We're trying to train our boys and girls like that. And our tugboat is pushing that way. A lot of the women feel like, okay, no, that's not right. I'm raising my boy to do this, because they raise the boys to fit what they think a man is, not exactly what it is. So it's pushing in the opposite direction, and there's no movement. And I think that's what's happening now. And will we ever see a community? I think we need to learn what it is. We need to learn what a community is, because to me, my community is not where I live.
No.
But it's the people I interact with on a daily basis. It's y'all. That's my community.
Yep.
So are we going in the right direction? I mean,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Doc. We gotta look at social media, and the answer is no. But when I look around who I actually interact with and who I talk to, and the people and the men and women that I see every day, I feel different. Like I just take everybody in my management circle. My immediate manager, he's married. My direct report, he's married. The guy that's my equal on the other shift, he's married. Blended family, he's married. Myself, I'm in a long-term relationship headed towards marriage. And then the young fella, he trying to get himself together, and he has a goal of getting married and having a family. So if I look at my immediate surroundings and people that I interact with on a daily basis, I got to say, yes, we're headed in the right direction. But then when I go on the public platforms, it's a resounding No. Which takes back to what you said earlier, that some of this shit got to be engineered.
Oh, yeah, we can go way down that rabbit hole. But I'm going to say this. I think there are secret pains and secret beliefs behind everybody.
Okay.
And I'm going to compare it to this. World War II, Nazi Germany. So what happened is we sent spies to Germany. We would get some dudes that looked like Germans, go over there, and they would infiltrate, speak German, do all of this stuff. But what would happen is when they suspected someone of being a spy, they wouldn't throw them in jail and do all that stuff right then.
Nope.
They would stamp on their foot, do something to hurt them. And what came out of their mouth at that time is what let them know. Because if you were German, German words would come out.
Right.
If you were American, English would come out. So I set that up and said all that to say is even with the people that we are around, right? Their foot hadn't been stamped on yet. And the true beliefs hadn't come out. Because when it comes to that stressful situation, when the line is in the sand and they have to choose, what will they choose and what side they'll fall on? Those are the subconscious beliefs that drive people, drive their decisions, what they say and what they do.
Yep.
And it goes back to the foundation. Our foundations are built on sand because people don't like it. I don't like this foundation. I don't.
Yeah.
So you got to be prepared with what you're going to deal with. So I think it's going to take a while. I really do. I don't think we're going to see it in our lifetime.
All right. So we said we want to, and maybe we should do this next week to try to maybe hone in on some of these things we're discussing right now. We want to define the manosphere.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Red pill.
Red pill.
Yep. Red pill, blue pill. Red pill rage.
Red pill rage.
Yep.
And what else? Do we want and do we want to / define community?
Yes. That's a big one because I notice a lot of men in our group, community means something to them.
Right.
It means a lot. With that comment, I've seen some of the responses and I got a better idea of what people think it is and how they interact with it.
All right, so let's do this. Throughout this week, myself and Doc will throw up some posts in the group.
Yeah.
Asking you guys opinions on what y'all believe these things are, or what y'all think these or even ideas and on what we can do to define these things and also improve them, especially on this community tip. And then the manosphere and the red pill, we'll kind of let I guess social media and the world kind of define what those are right now. But then we'll define what they mean to us. But this community one, I think this really has to be broken down.
Mm-hmm.
And
the reason why
who we are and what we believe in.
I mean, we have to have a language to describe how we think.
Right.
And how we need a language for it. Because when we are challenged on that, what happens is this: you get challenged on something you say or do.
Right.
You don't have the language to define it or defend it. So the argument is lost with flawed logic.
Right.
So we have to find logic to say what we all think. And that's why as men, when we say something, all us get it.
Yeah.
All us get it. But other people on the outside don't. So I think we have to become better at communicating that and also be okay with people not listening to us. We've got to be okay with that.
All right. So just to get this ball rolling, you look up community. Definition. The first definition is a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. The example for that is the scientific community.
Mm-hmm.
Definition 2, which I think is what we need to be working on, is a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. the sense of community that organized religion can provide. That was an example.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think we really want to build on number 2, but that rolls you into number 1.
Yeah.
They go together. They're similar. So I think we can start there. And I definitely want to get everyone's opinions on this, on what is and how do we define community.
Yeah. And then once we define that, we can work on building our community.
Right.
Being in a place where, like I put in the description, iron sharpens iron, like a man sharpens the countenance of his friend.
Yep.
That's what the whole thing say. So we have to sharpen one another. It's a two-way street, give and take.
Yep. Thank you for that, Freddie. Appreciate that that question, man. That's a big question. And we're going to try to tackle it the best we can here at the Book of Man. It's been a good show. I appreciate all the interaction. Thursday night, we're going through The Way of the Superior Man.
Oh, y'all coming. Y'all got to be there.
We're on chapter 4, right, Doc? Going to chapter 4?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We're going into chapter 4. This book is a deep one, man. Y'all need to be here for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, share, comment, all of that good stuff. Anything you want to close out with, Doc?
Man, I appreciate all y'all for coming in. I appreciate everybody responding and in the comments. That's what makes it. I mean, we've been doing this for almost a year now. And I think we're making a difference. I think we are making a difference. Everybody that contribute, everybody that help, I mean, every little bit. Your opinion is value. You have a place here. You have a place to say what you want, to argue any points. You got a place with us. So bring it on, man. Let's go. Freddie said he bought that book. Yes. If you want the book, shoot me a message. I may have some resources for you.
There it is.
All right, man.
Thank y'all for joining us, man. We out this weekend. We love you. We out.
All right. Peace.